We left California and we're here in Cleveland, Ohio. It's time to level up. We just finished up our 1500 horsepower R34 Skyline that we debuted at SEMA, but it is nowhere near ready to hit the drag strip for the first time. And that's really where the fun actually starts, because then it's time to develop the chassis and try to achieve our goal of hitting an 8-second in the quarter mile, which is not gonna be very easy. And that's why I'm here. So I'm here with Quinn. We're attending the motorsports seminar hosted by Lincoln Electric, and we have a lot of learning to do. So we're gonna be doing some classes. We're also gonna be doing some hands-on in the lab to really understand fabrication, metallurgy, welding, a lot of stuff. We're gonna bring you guys along for the ride. I'm very excited. I can barely feel my hands. It is very cold, so let's get it going.
As a welder, the more you know about the metals, the better. You're gonna be more successful.
All right, Quinn, what'd you learn?
A lot about metallurgy. That guy is really smart. He knows his stuff, man. That's really cool to watch. Really sick.
So next up is the lab. So we brought our helmets and some gloves. You ready?
Ready? I'm ready, dude. Let's go.
So we are here at the first station. We've got 4130 chromoly tube. This is kind of like roll cage tubing. This is the same material we use for our roll cage in the R34. We're gonna be doing a T-joint today. Quinn and I are both gonna try, and we're gonna try to see how beautiful we can make it. So wish us luck. First time out here. We've got an awesome coach here to help us. What was your name again?
I'm Jim Bollinger.
Jim Bollinger.
Yes.
And we're gonna give it a shot today. Here we go.
All right, Evan's going for his first weld. Let's see. All right, Evan's going for his first weld. Let's see what he's got.
You keep walking off the edge and you try to walk down the edge like this, you're preheating everything down here. You need to keep that torch angle turned as you make that turn. And it's just a skill, it's a practice. It's like anything else, the more you do. You guys are good enough welders. All you gotta do is practice for a couple hours, you'll have it down pat.
How's it going, Quinn?
We're getting there.
Oh, that was good.
It's not bad. It's really cool to be working with him because he's like immediately like, that's not it.
It's one of those things where a lot of time when you're welding back at our shop or whatever, no one's really over your shoulder. So having someone who's really experienced telling you exactly what you're doing wrong, not in like a negative way, but really just like a criticism way of how you can be better, is really refreshing, and it's really helpful to making us better welders.
First lab is finished. We got our T-joint welded up. I think I did all right. I definitely learned a lot. In like one weld, I've learned probably 10 things that I can improve on and get better on, and it's looking pretty good. So now we're gonna go get some lunch.
All right, so this one is mine, and this one is Quinn's.
I think looks, you got me beat, brother. This is more shiny.
All right, you get a little MIG welding?
Evan was mentioning this earlier, is that we've been focusing a lot on TIG, and about half the welding we actually do at the shop is actually MIG. And none of us ever actually get the chance to like learn how to MIG weld properly. We all just kind of assume Rick is the expert, and then we just like learn from him.
This is set up pretty safe. I think just send it.
Just go for it, see what it looks like.
Yeah. I feel like if you do have the option to do MIG or TIG, for me, I think you just have way more control over TIG. You also don't get all this splatter everywhere, and it just doesn't look as good.
All right, you ready to go try some Inconel? And
yeah, let's go over there.
Stainless steel over there.
All right. Now trying Inconel. So I've never welded Inconel. This is pretty thin. I'm gonna give it a try. This might be the most difficult thing I've ever done. That is really hard. Look at that, Quinn. Like, I'm just trying to fight to not burn a hole in it. I think I need to go down. It's too hot. Can you go?
Once it cools off, and try to break that.
Try to break it.
It's surprisingly strong.
So this is really thin.
It's crazy, right?
Wow, that is really strong. Hey, my weld didn't break off. Wow. That is nuts.
So you got to be really good to make Inconel look good.
Yeah.
It always looks kind of, I call it scummy. Even when it's shielded, it just doesn't look great. But look how strong it is. You flicked that back and forth several times.
Yeah, and it's the material around the outside that's
the material is even failing. It's not the best looking weld in the world, but look how strong it is.
Wow. All right, Quinn, you're up, Quinn.
So think the thinnest thing you've ever welded? This is thinner.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
How'd you do? Oh, you did good.
It's pretty dang good. So you heard me saying back off your heat, back off your heat, right? See, look at the V. They see how there's a V here? It gets wider and wider and wider where it's blue. So the reason it does, think of it this way. Think of cooking a pie, okay? So you put a pie in the oven, an hour and a half. The pie actually only cooks to get ready in the last 15 minutes, 10 minutes it's in the oven. The rest of the time, you're heating everything else up. So the rest of the time it's cooked on. What happens is, even though you have a big heat sink here, the longer you're on this, the more heat you build up. It's called heat soaking. So once you get that puddle, what you'll find is you'll have to start backing off the puddle because now the part is warming up. It doesn't need as much energy to keep it there because now the whole part has come up to temperature. It won't happen as drastically. That's why we use these big chill bars and all that. But you can see that's a good example. That's what I was saying, back off your heat, because I could see it was getting wide on you. And it seems counterintuitive because you're like, well, I'm already backed off some, but it's still getting hotter and hotter and hotter, and it's heat soaked.
All right, so when I was welding, I finished meeting up one weld with another weld and made this like cavity hole thing that I just could not seem to fill, so we put the expert on it.
Oh, we moved on past your mistake,
did he fix it?
He did, and there was a lot of contamination in there, so it didn't look, I would say, that great, but we're moved on to a clean piece, so sometimes it's just better to move forward.
I messed up so bad it was unfixable.
All right, my turn. Jim's look pretty good. That's pretty solid. This is the standard. This is what you got. Yeah, we start welding Inconel in our shop. I'll go bankrupt.
Why would you go bankrupt? Just don't mess up.
An exhaust system used to cost us like a couple $100. Costs us like $4 grand now or more probably.
For Inconel?
Yeah.
About 15 grand to build a V8 Inconel exhaust.
Yeah, we're good.
The NASCAR guys over there were saying they spend about 15 grand per set of headers. I'll take that all day long, bro.
Yeah, let's go.
How does it look on the inside?
Oh, I don't know. You tell me.
It looks great. There's nothing wrong with it.
All right. All right, that is officially the end of day one. So we will pick up the camera tomorrow in 3, 2, 1. Day 2. You ready? We're back to school again. Let's do it.
The 2024 that they use on airplanes, the skin, sometimes they call it 2024. One thing about aluminum, what gives it its corrosion resistance is the oxide layer.
Come on, we're gonna weld some aluminum now.
All right, so we just finished up a seminar on aluminum, and one thing that is pretty exciting that I haven't told you guys about yet is we just sent a wire transfer in for a new project, which is going to be our SEMA build for next year. So we're actually getting ahead of the curve this year because this project is going to be the absolute biggest thing that we have ever taken on. There's going to be a lot of aluminum welding that we are going to have to do because the car that we bought is pretty severely wrecked. So there's a lot of stuff that we need to do. We need to repair some sections, and a lot of the information that we just learned I think will come in quite handy, I guess.
Yeah, so this is also a big point where I'm excited because I've done some aluminum welding. I did some on the Viper, but it's never really been a strong suit for me at all. So being able to sit down with actual professionals and get really good advice, I think today's going to be the big ticket.
Good practice, yeah. And I think later we're going to be doing titanium as well. So let's get into it.
We're starting with some 3-inch pipe.
This is kind of like intercooler piping that we do.
Yeah, similar. So they got a whole box of it over there, and this is probably what we're going to be mostly doing with aluminum. So it's all attractive.
Got a little butt welder.
I'm gonna jump in there and see what I can do. How's that? That doesn't look too bad actually. Not bad. The torch angle definitely made a huge difference. Like trying to actively, coming back to yesterday, kind of rotate it with it. I think is a big something I picked up, which is really nice too. All right, so my pace is too hot to actually get worked on. I started to do some weird.
Started off good, and then the end kind of freaked out.
It did some weird stuff, so
we'll give it a try.
Throw everything and see what we got.
That's plenty to do. So it looks like this station was actually set up for magnesium welding, so we're using the wrong filler. That's why even things like tacks. There we go. Let's try that again. Can you give me a little more heat now?
After a while of figuring it out, I'm starting to get better with the aluminum piping. I'm feeling a lot more confident on it. We're all just starting to look at
Practice, man. We just need practice, really. We have a decent understanding of the fundamentals now. So really it's getting the seat time, trying out different angles, different things. So we're gonna move on to doing like a 90-degree angle or like an angled piece. I think that's like another skill or another type of part or something that we have to make often at our shop. So let's see how this goes. There she is.
That's pretty good, dude.
That's pretty good. I think I need maybe a little more filler in some spots, but what's interesting about aluminum is like everything matters. The speed that you're going, the speed that you're feeding the rod, the amount of filler rod, being as consistent like a robot makes it look better. Quinn's try. How'd you do? Pretty good.
Yeah, that's all
We
right.
said we need to turn it up a little bit.
Turn up the heat.
That way you don't have to fight it back and forth to melt down both sides.
Yeah, I was kind of chasing it a little bit.
Yeah, so if you got more amps, you can just sit back and let that whole puddle take up both spots.
This is titanium. We're gonna try and figure this out, play with it. We just sat down for a lesson on class and it was like gas is everything when it comes to titanium. So we're just gonna keep that in mind and try our best. It's probably gonna be terrible, but it's gonna be a lot of fun.
So titanium has become really popular. Everyone loves the blue coloring and all that. And what we learned is actually that's not what you're looking for. So that means that it's been exposed to oxygen. You can achieve that blue coloring after you weld by cleaning the surface and applying like a heat to it. But ideally, you have a nice shiny silver fillet for the weld. And that comes from keeping everything really clean and making sure you have adequate gas coverage.
Towards the end it like stuck to my rod, but that's super weird. That's like super smooth. It's like butter smooth. Yeah, how weird is that?
Oh, look at that.
I got all the color.
You failed, Quinn.
Well, okay, so to be fair, the machine wasn't set. This section here was all AC going on.
smooth.
Look at that blue line. That's wild, dude. That's really interesting.
Try again. Well, that's much better. Pretty good, I guess. Better than the last one for sure. Yeah. I guess I don't know if gas coverage or got a little bit of oxygen on that, but I think better, right? Definitely much better.
That looks good. Ideally, you want a little like penetration.
More heat.
Yeah. This should look the same on that side.
Oh, you mean like it should like way more?
Yeah, see
so
how that
way
little
more
bit-
heat.
Yeah, so kind of, yeah.
You're saying it should look the same on both sides?
Oh shoot.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I gotta get way more heat.
You went through it?
I did. But
kinda
that one
did that
you'll
a little
notice
bit.
is a lot more heat overall. But at the end, burned through. One thing they're mentioning here is for titanium, you want to get a lot of gas coverage, and you often want to use those massive cups, which we don't
We don't
have
have
here
a
right
big
now.
cup. That's
Yeah.
like a little cup.
The M-Furic cups we have at the shop work really well for that.
Alright, so Evan found us a setup with a better stool and a bigger cup than the torch. Let's see if it looks any different. Oh, and you got a pipe.
Yeah, I got a pipe, and we got an M-Furic cup. This is what we have.
How are you back purging the pipe?
Just with this.
Does that work?
So the back purging is just to try to get the backside.
Yeah, but
to
you're
be
like
nice.
running it around the outside.
Just running around the outside. So the inside of the pipe might not be back purged nice, but the outside, look at that. That's the best we've seen, right? There's no color at all. That's because we have the big cup. I'm gonna try to go all the way around. Check it out, dude. This is money. Look at that. Looks great.
So I've been terrified to weld titanium because that was going to be such a pain.
Me too.
But it's not.
No, it's actually
straightforward and easy.
I think the setup is the most important thing.
Back perching setup, the perch time, like getting it in a non-air environment is 100% critical. But like once you get it, dude, it
actually welds nicely.
Really nice. Yeah.
Look how nice and smooth that looks. That's
like,
legit.
I'm gonna try running a pipe right now, but I'm almost betting it looks better than mild steel will.
How'd it go?
Dude, that was great.
Yeah.
Can I pull it away now? Yeah, look at that. That was great.
Doesn't have that blue ring or oxidation.
No, it welds so nicely. That's awesome. We should start making stuff in the shop, dude. We should try, like seriously.
We can try it.
Maybe like
we gotta get all the equipment.
Maybe like a wastegate dump or something, just simple to begin with. I would argue that it's prettier than my mild steel welds. It looks really good, dude.
Yeah, it looks great.
It looks really good.
Like, it flows really nice.
It does, and it like doesn't misbehave. Like iron, steel will misbehave, aluminum will get away from you. This doesn't do that. So I blew a hole like on purpose in the middle of one of these plates just to see how much it would take, and it takes like way more abuse than aluminum will, or way more abuse than mild steel will. So honestly, it's a really nice material to work, and the result looks freaking good. It does look like machine welds that we see on some of the exhaust systems, like the Cobb exhaust and all the other ones. It's pretty freaking good, dude. For never having done that before, it freaking feels really cool.
So one thing that I really appreciate is having a lot of the experts here to kind of be over our shoulder and watching us and giving us critiques. So a lot of times at the shop, we're kind of just figuring things out. If things don't go perfectly, we just have to figure it out for ourselves. But here, if we make a mistake or we're not sure how to set something up or just how to do something, there's some really experienced people here, guys who have been welding for 30, 40, 50 years and have been through pretty much everything that we're dealing with. It has been a huge blessing. I've already noticed Quinn has made some substantial improvements, way better from just a 2-day welding class. And I noticed as well with myself, a lot of improvement in just 2 days. So it's pretty amazing. It's one thing I would say that if you are a beginner welder or you're looking to get better, going to a school like this that Lincoln Electric offers, they offer a variety of schools, might be something worth looking into. Or if you're not in the local area, you can't travel, I'm sure that other welding schools exist that you guys can check out. And I think it's a big shortcut to being a more proficient welder. So yeah, highly recommend that. Take advantage of any resources you can. There's a lot of YouTube videos and a lot of stuff, but really getting the seat time in a classroom with other welders, I think is going to be your biggest bang for the buck.
Something I'm really excited for is we're hosting a Cars and Coffee specifically for our throtl VIPs here at the throttle shop, and we're gonna be welding up a couple of trophies for them. So here's what I've got to work with. I've got a couple of pistons, I've got a nice base to work on, I've got some rod, and I've got some wrenches, and I think I'm gonna try to make a guy out of the piston who's holding a wrench that's also gonna be welded to the base. I think it should turn out pretty sick. I've got a bunch of rod here for the arms and legs. Let's get started. So we're gonna weld the nut here, like that, bow. And then I'm gonna weld the wrench like that, bow. And then this is gonna be, I think, the body and the head. I've got this, we're gonna make like arms and legs out of that. And he's gonna be like on his knees, like holding the wrench. And the wrench is like going that way.
All right.
I think it'd be cool. So we're gonna try it, see how it turns out.
Which trophy is this gonna be? It's gonna be...
I think it should be best build. All right, so I've got the nut and the wrench on. Now I need to figure out where our piston is gonna be, and I think we get to start by making the legs will probably be the easiest thing to make. Yeah, something like that. I'm just gonna be reaching out for it. We're trying to like figure out what it's gonna look like when it's done, and I think it's gonna look kind of goofy. So I already finished like welded this, I burned it all the way around, but I think for the rest of it, we're just gonna kind of tack it in place, because if it looks really dumb, then we can just like break all the tacks and then make something else. Yay or nay? Is that it?
Pretty good. I think it's a bit weird that he's kneeling. I don't know if you quite capture that.
I don't know if you get the illusion of kneeling, but you kind of, if you think about it, it does.
But I can see the head and the arms and the body for sure.
Yeah, the legs definitely need work. But like maybe if I fill, like I can make a foot out of weld down there and fill his knee up, fill his hip up, like all that stuff. I think like fill all the little things, like his elbow and all that stuff. I might be able to make it look better, but I think that's it. I think that's the trophy. Let's do it. Let's fill it in. All right, right, my trophy's finished. Look at that guy holding the wrench, ready to go, dude. He works harder than Ricky.
All right, Quinn's trophy's done. It's my turn to make one up, and I'm just gonna go with the classic 2-piston cross design. And I wanna make sure that the pistons actually move, so I'm gonna gap them so they don't hit each other. So it makes the trophy a little more fun. And I think I might try to put something else on the front of it too, so it's not too boring and plain, but I haven't figured out what that is yet, so we'll be creating that on the fly.
Now it's time for me to make the final trophy for our event this weekend. I'm gonna make the one for furthest distance. My concept is kind of similar to Quinn's. I'm gonna build a little guy made out of bolts, but mine's gonna be kind of tall. So these are his legs. We're gonna have this going on as his torso. It's gonna go like that. And then we got some arms that stick off, and I might put something in his hands. So wish me luck. We're gonna fire up the Precision TIG 225 and start TIGging this bad boy. While these boys are fiddling around with the welders, I'm gonna go ahead and panel bond this little EF Civic. This is actually my boy Kenji's real car in real life. I had one extra at my desk, so I'm gonna panel bond it to the trophy like that.
I should look up.
Legs are done.
Nice
Baby's
legs.
tall. Hopefully it doesn't topple over.
What'd you learn at school? Give me something.
What did I learn in school? Get comfortable. Make sure you have things like this, like cushions and things like that, and make sure you have the right setup. Here he is. I don't know what to call him, but my little piston trophy is officially done. We've got them all lined up. We got mine, we got Mickey's, and then we got Quinn's. Which one do you guys think is the best? Comment down below. I think that's gonna do it for today's YouTube episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave us a thumbs up, comment down below. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.